Thank you. So as Jess said, I'm Keegan from Lemon Drops Reclaimed, and the purpose of our live is to demonstrate the difference between hemp oil and natural wax for your painted pieces. And Jess and I both have painted a piece in the color Perfect from the limited edition. It's a limited edition color from the Furry Friends collection from Chic Paint. Jess is going to maybe show you some of the other colors as well and let you know the purpose of the collection and why it was created.
Yeah, so this is a really cool collection because so every twice a year, Chic comes out with a limited edition paint colors, and this one's to support our furry friends. So 50% of the proceeds of this paint line, these 6 colors, go to support helping animal welfare. So proceeds go towards Red Rover and the Canadian Animal Assistance Team. And these places provide free veterinary service, emergency shelters, and education for pet owners and more. So I just want to show you quickly the colors because what's even more exciting is if you leave a comment and watch, you are entered into a chance to win 3 pints of paint from this paint line and either hemp oil or natural wax, depending on what you'd like to use. So I just want to show you the colors quickly. This one is Feline Fine. It's a beautiful minty color. This one is the Cat's Meow. It's like a deep turquoise color. Can you see the colors okay? This one's Possum, and it's a brown color. And then there's Go Fetch, which is a really nice gray. It's in between Pebble Beach and Lazy Linen. And then there's Perfect, which is what we're working on today. So make sure to comment. We want to keep this live as interactive as possible, so ask questions. We'd love to hear what you use hemp oil for or what you use natural wax for. Yeah, so, and as well, all of these are available online on the Country Chic website to purchase. And if you use the code Blue Peaches 10, you get 10% off your order.
Awesome. Okay, so I am going to get us started with the hemp oil end of things. So hemp oil is super easy to apply. I like to use just like a lint-free cloth to apply mine. You can also use a natural bristle brush, and also Chic Paint has an awesome sponge that is great for applying the hemp oil as well.
I have right here.
Oh yeah, Jess can show you. It has so many awesome purposes. I actually have used it to apply poly as well, and actually to paint little intricate details and like spindly legs on a piece too. So it's multi-purpose for sure. So to hemp oil piece, you really don't need a lot. I've got my hemp oil, and I like to work out of a little container. So I'm just going to pour some in, and then, like I said, I use a lint-free cotton cloth, and you're just going to get it wet, sort of dab off some of the excess, and then you just really lightly rub it into the wood, and you can automatically see how it doesn't necessarily deepen the color, but it really richens the color, and it doesn't change it at all either. It just kind of really brings it to life. And hemp oil has a lot of uses. Actually, you can, I think probably the most popular use is on raw wood, and to revive sort of an old wood that needs to be brightened up. It's kind of lost its life over time, and I often use it sort of on the inside of pieces that I don't paint. If I don't paint the inside of a piece, I like to sort of revive the wood with the hemp oil just to make it look a little cleaner and give it some new life. It's also awesome to use on old leather goods. We have some pretty harsh winters here in Canada, so if you have leather boots after the winter, you could clean them up and then polish them up with some hemp oil. You can also revive old cast iron or stone countertops. It's great for cutting boards because it is food safe, and it's also a great product to use to seal pieces that you're going to be using in children's rooms or nurseries because of that purpose. So toys, cribs, painted pieces, like I said. Yeah, I think the most common use is probably to revive old wood and on raw wood to seal it. Yeah, so you can see how easily it goes on.
Keegan, we have a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, and just before, I forgot to introduce Matt. He will be reading the comments out loud. So we have some questions as you've been working along.
Well, Country Chic answered that one.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure you can comment on this as well, though. Karen Fraser wants to know, do you have to reapply hemp oil after a certain amount of time?
You do. Approximately 12 to 24 months. It really depends on what kind of piece it is and how high traffic of an area it's in. But yeah, recommended is between 12 to 24 months. So it does last quite a long time.
Cool.
Can you guys see sort of the difference already in the color?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it really richens it, which is nice. And it's so easy to apply. So what I would do is I would put this on and let it sit. It really soaks into the wood, and then I'd come back. I wait usually about 24 hours, and I'll come back and I'll just wipe the excess off with a clean cloth. And yeah, super duper easy.
Okay, and I'm doing it the same piece, the same color in natural wax. So this is great for, it's all natural, kid safe, completely chemical free. What I use is I like to use a wax brush to apply it, and you don't need to use a lot. You just rub it on. This is how I do it anyways. I just take it, put it in areas sort of in a messy way, and then I take a lint-free cloth and just buff it in. And then this adds extra protection to the piece, as well as kind of gives it a nice professional finish, but I find it's not nearly as shiny as the hemp oil. And you can also use this on natural wood. And what's another great thing about natural wax is that when you want to use tinted waxes, you can mix it with the tinted waxes as well for easy blending. So for you guys, what's your favorite top coat that you guys like to do after painting a piece? We're curious to know. Do you prefer hemp oil, or do you prefer natural wax, or do you use the clear coats or the polys? Yeah, and you can see I'm just buffing it in. And we left this side blank so that you can see the difference between the two sides.
Well, we got another question here.
Yeah.
Nancy would like to know, does one provide more or a different type of protection for the surfaces?
I can answer that. It's basically the same amount of protection, more or less. Wax in more high traffic areas, you might have to apply a little more frequently. I think it's 6 to 12 months. And then, like Keegan said, hemp oil is 12 to 18 months, did you say, Keegan? And
12 to 24 months.
12 to 24 months. And, but yeah, it really comes down to personal preferences. I would say, like, for me, I personally love using hemp oil on raw wood because it really revives the wood. And I prefer using... A
lot of the fans are liking hemp oil.
Yeah.
Not so labor intensive.
Yeah.
I think with hemp oil too, some of the perks of hemp oil too is there's really no learning curve to it. Like, it's just apply it, let it dry, and then remove the excess, which whereas with wax, it can take a little bit longer to master it in terms of streakiness. I think Country Chic's wax is pretty great, but hemp oil is really user-friendly and great for beginners who maybe are a little bit intimidated by the wax that's out there.
We've got one lady who does clear coat and then hemp oil. Is that a thing?
Oh, I've never heard of that before. Would
like
oil
poly
into
So you can apply hemp oil to a piece and then wax over top, but you can't do the opposite. You can't apply wax and then hemp oil. It won't absorb into the wood because the wax acts as a barrier. So yeah, I'm not sure what she uses. Do you know what she uses? Did she say? No.
Another listener is asking for some clarification, so maybe Natalie can text in her uses.
My favorite is clear coat and then hemp oil. No, Natalie was saying she prefers clear coat and then followed by her second favorite is hemp oil.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's what she meant.
Sorry, Natalie.
It's Nat. She prefers Nat.
Sorry, Nat.
So she prefers, Natalie's from A Ray of Sunlight. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
And she definitely prefers, because she sprays it. She uses a spray gun, so she sprays her polygon, so she rarely waxes her hemp oil.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
If anyone's just tuning in, we are just demonstrating the difference between hemp oil and natural wax for your painted pieces. So I have just applied hemp oil, and you guys can see how quickly it went on and how easy that was. And now it's basically, I'm just going in and filling in some of the spots that I didn't get to originally, and then it's just leaving it to sit and wait and absorb into the wood, and then I'll come back tomorrow and I'll wipe away the excess. And it looks like Jess is working pretty quickly too, so it's, yeah.
It has less intricate details than yours, though.
Yeah, got some little flowers here.
Yeah.
So ideally I would have probably like a little natural bristle brush too, and it doesn't have to be like super high quality, just something, you can just get one maybe from the hardware store, and that's good for the little details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apply my hemp oil with a brush and then buff it in after. It's like a cheap chip brush.
We've got another question from Zanet Wiesman. Apologize for the pronunciation. Wants to know if you can apply hemp oil over any kind of paints.
I think so.
It's ultimately it's best on porous surfaces. So the more porous, the faster it will absorb and the faster it will cure. I don't think you would want to put it over, I don't think a latex paint. Jess, do you know?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I don't know if you could put it over latex paint. I've never tried.
It's really ideal for like a chalk paint, a clay-based paint, which is what Country Chic Paint is, or a milk paint, which I tend to use hemp oil to seal my milk paint pieces, or a wax. So those, I think I would probably only really use a poly over a latex, but I'm not sure. Maybe Sarah could clarify that.
We've got another question.
Yeah.
In terms of how long should the paint dry before applying the wax or the hemp oil?
I think it's always best to wait 24 hours to let the paint really dry, but because sometimes when you touch the paint, it feels dry to touch, but it's not necessarily fully dry. So you definitely want to make sure that it is dry. So I think it's recommended around 24 hours, but as long as you wait a few hours, you can get away with it.
And Country Chic Paint it's pretty fast drying paint as well. So I would just be sure that everything is fully dry. Yeah. And for me, before, like to prep this piece for the hemp oil, obviously I painted it and then I sanded it down just to get it nice and smooth, and then I applied the hemp oil. It's recommended that you do 2 coats, waiting 2 hours between each coat. And then if it's in a really high traffic area, you may want to do 4 coats, just for extra durability. But I think for a piece like this, 2 would be more than enough.
Yeah.
We've got more questions rolling in here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up. Karen would like to know if you need to clean the piece before putting hemp oil on it. She has a piece currently. They used hemp oil on it in the past. She's never reapplied it. It's a sideboard in her kitchen, not super high traffic.
Is it painted?
does not say.
So if it's painted and then you've sanded down any brush strokes and any flaws, just to get a really nice smooth finish, then yes, I would just take a tack cloth and wipe it down to make sure that there's no dust left on it before you apply anything, because that's going to interfere with how durable the finish is. Yeah, I would always make sure that you do kind of a thorough wipe down with a tack cloth of your piece before applying any top coat.
Now we've got a paint question here. Naomi has never used clay-based paint. She wants to know the difference between chalk and clay-based paints.
Jess, you take that one.
Can you reread the question? I just noticed that Kate answered for us about non-porous paint. So Kate was on top of answering some of the questions for us.
Okay, so Naomi would like to know, having never used a clay-based paint before, what's the difference between chalk and clay-based paints?
Well, technically, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, chalk paint, Annie Sloan trademarked the word chalk paint, so no other paints can use that name. But with clay-based, so particularly with Country Chic paint, it's completely VOC-free, completely chemical-free. It's been tested to be safe on toys and things like that, and it shares all its tests and studies. It does third-party testing, so it's extremely, extremely safe to use in your house, around your kids, which isn't very common amongst other paints. So that's a really positive thing for Country Chic, as well as the coverage is really good. And it sticks really well to furniture without it really needing a lot of prep, as well as this particular, we should mention, since Keegan and I are both using hemp oil and wax, that this paint actually doesn't need a top coat. It has a top coat built in. So these steps are just for added protection and to alter the appearance a bit. Like, I know it's hard to see the difference between the wax and not wax in the phone, but in person it does add a little bit more. It just richens the color, I think.
Yeah. And neither product really changes the color. Both, I think, just kind of deepen it and, for lack of a better word, sort of give it a more saturated look. It kind of just gives it depth and awakens the color. Before applying the top coat, it looks kind of, I don't know if I would say dusty maybe, but
yeah,
this just gives it like a really nice finish.
Like a more professional finish, I find.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more questions here on the hemp oil.
Oh, sorry. And just to finish that thought about the difference between clay and chalk base, maybe Sarah wants to add more if I missed anything. Sorry if I did. Sorry, go ahead.
Somebody would like to know, Kimberly would like to know if hemp oil will be okay on the front of her kitchen cupboards. They're looking a little bit tired.
They don't really recommend that you use hemp oil in kitchens other than on like some wood surfaces like cutting boards, just because it isn't water, it's water resistant, not waterproof.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of durability it would add to your cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say kind of stay away from using it in areas that are kind of close to the door or bathrooms or kitchen areas, besides on spots like just to revive an old cutting board.
Yeah, for your kitchen cabinets, I would definitely recommend the Country Chic Clear Coat or the Tough Coat. It just adds a little bit more protection. And then you can wipe it down, and it just adds more durability. So anything high traffic area, just to clarify, hemp oil and wax have about the same durability. And then there's Clear Coat by Country Chic Paint, which has a bit more durability, or quite a bit more durability than either hemp oil or wax. And then there's the Tough Coat, which is, you can even use on outdoor painted furniture. So right now for this demo, we're just sort of focusing on the wax versus the hemp oil. But yeah, for your kitchen cabinets, I would use the Clear Coat. Or
Tough Coat. That's seconded by Country Chic. there was another question. I guess Keegan, this would be for you. Will you get a darker color the more layers of hemp oil you put on a piece? Like
no. Once you apply it, that will be the color that you get. Because it will, as it absorbs into the wood, it will dry. Like it won't stay quite this. What's the word? Like it looks kind of. I don't know how to explain it, but no, it won't change. It won't alter the color the more coats that you add.
Good answer.
Yeah, with milk paint, I find it will really pop the color. Yeah. Like revive it, because milk paint can be a little drier, but on chalk paints, once it looks really shiny right now in the video, but once it dries, it won't be as shiny as it looks right now.
Yeah, and also right now, I need to leave it to sit before I wipe away the excess. Once the excess hemp oil is wiped away, then it will also sort of settle down how drenched, I guess, it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Keegan, do you have your board to show them on raw wood?
Yeah, I do have an old piece of wood. 1 second. So this is actually a really old coat hanger, I guess, that my husband brought home from a job site that he works at, actually downtown Toronto. It's super duper old, so I pulled it out. This is the back side of it, because that's kind of, I think it's going to be a good example to show you the difference between old dry wood versus wood that's been hemp oiled. So I'm just going to apply some. Can you guys see, like, automatically that really awakens the wood? Like, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Like, versus this, which is kind of dry, and it cleans it up
a lot better.
Yeah. It just makes it look kind of new again, not quite so old and uncared for.
Like makeup for wood.
Yeah, exactly.
Great point, Matt.
Thanks.
Yeah, so if you can see like this area where I didn't apply any versus this area where it looks a little bit fresher, and yeah, I don't know if the camera really picks that up or not, but
it really does. So you can, it's a noticeable difference.
Good. Yeah, so that's, I think that's a really common use of hemp oil is to revive old wood or to seal raw wood. I think that's probably the most popular use for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it all comes down to personal preference, what people decide to use. If you're a furniture painter or have projects around the house, I definitely would say that both wax and hemp oil are necessities for painting furniture, and definitely have advantages in different areas. So like for me, I really like to apply tinted wax on pieces, and the natural wax is really helpful with that.
Yeah. Any other questions coming in?
Well, there's comments. Matt, do you want to read some of the comments?
Oh, well, not saying that. Hemp oil is so good to freshen up the inside of drawers.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. Good point, Nat.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time old drawers on old pieces are really beat up and neglected. So if you are doing a piece for a client or a piece to sell, it just adds that extra touch that not everybody necessarily pays. So when people pull out their drawers, they see like a nice fresh wood. Yes, that's an awesome point, Natalie.
Oh, Nat has a question. She would like to know which one is your fave to use, Jess and Keegan.
I definitely prefer wax on painted furniture. I like hemp oil on milk paint, and I like it on wood tops to revive them, and in the drawers, like you said, because I use a lot of tinted waxes to make things look more antique. I like to use the wax with the clay-based paints. What about you, Keegan?
I would say I probably use wax more often than hemp oil, but I'm the same. I like to use hemp oil on my milk painted pieces and to revive the interior of pieces. Yeah. But when I first started, I found that wax was really difficult to apply and get a clean look. It's hard to not get a streaky look with it until you really practice, or if you find a good wax, which Country Chic Paint, I find their wax really just kind of absorbs. It's not one that is super streaky, but some other ones I've tried were really hard to master.
Yeah. So just a reminder, all of these things are available on the Country Chic website. And if you use the code Blue Peaches 10, you can get 10% off your order.
Are we drawing for the winner of the giveaway? I think Sarah was going to maybe draw.
Yeah, so I think Sarah's going to do the draw, and Sarah, I guess you'll just announce the winner in the comments. But before we wrap up, is there any more questions that you guys have?
Not.
Okay, well, if you guys can feel free to leave more questions in the comments and we will address them. And Jess and I are also going to stage and photograph our pieces, and we will share them once they're complete in the comments for you guys to see. And we want to thank you so much for watching and bearing with us with the technical difficulties. Just kind of comes with the territory, but thank you so much. And yeah, we appreciate it.
Sarah still hasn't announced the winner yet.
Oh.
Maybe you should be the winner, Matt.
No.
You're all winners in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And while we're waiting, Matt's getting a phone call.
Oh, maybe from Sarah.
Is it from Sarah?
Oh, guys, if you're in Canada, also, these are all Canadian-made products. Just an added little bonus.
Oh,
and
here we
they're
go.
all completely chemical-free. Oh, Lori Richmond.
We have a winner.
Congratulations, Lori. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And, yeah, leave in the comments what you are going to try, whether it's hemp oil or natural wax. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.